Welcome to the Extra Pass podcast presented by Melbourne United. I'm your host, Ben Hopkins, joined as always by my co-host, Adam Ballinger. Balls, how are you?
What's that?
Oh, God, what are you doing?
You remember that?
I mean, I wasn't alive when that happened, I don't believe.
Neither was I.
You don't remember that either?
I enjoyed that though.
That was a big thing. Yeah, that was a real big thing. Late 90s, early 2000s.
What a way to start. And
I
just
needed
coming
something.
in hot.
Yeah, my intros have been awful lately. I just thought I'd set the world on fire with that one.
You've absolutely rattled me. I don't know. I can't even think
Wasn't
now.
in the run sheet.
No.
No. Well, this is probably the first episode I haven't specifically given Balls a run sheet. So that's what happens when I don't give him anything.
Don't read it anyways. I'm a cowboy. I'm just...
Well, I need you on your best behavior because we got another special guest, another returning guest. We're bringing back all the coaches, all the assistant coaches, returning. Jacob Chance, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again. Reese's been raving about how he's the first returnee, so it's good to be back and join the crew.
Dino's a returnee as well.
Okay. Reese is wrong then.
Yeah,
he's not.
No,
first.
Reese has been here twice.
Yeah, so is Dean.
Yeah, it's starting to get awkward in the coaching room.
Yeah.
Jake
It's competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because is Barlow just like, why haven't they asked me again?
Yeah, he hasn't said it, but I'm sure he's feeling it.
You can tell on his face. Yeah.
Chancey, look, I think there's good vibes in this room, and it's easy to come in with good vibes when you're coming off an awesome win like we had on the weekend.
Yeah.
Throwdown 22, undemand, missing key pieces. Everyone steps up. Everyone puts in a big performance. Tell us how that feels.
Yeah, like you said, winning is it's a big part of our sport, and obviously it's much nicer to be 9-2 than it is 2-9 or whatever else it could be. So yeah, it's great, but I've been really pleased with. Well, not personally, I think as a whole we've been pleased with. We got to the quarterway mark and did a really honest review of where we're at, and we had some things we had to address, and I think we've put some time into that, and we're seeing good improvements in some spaces we had to tidy up. And I think one of the more pleasing things is, as you said, guys stepping up. We felt like Campbell Blogg had a great preseason. We felt like Flinny Cameron's on a great trajectory, Cole Bowen, and to see those guys get an opportunity yesterday in particular was really awesome. And I think one of the hardest things in professional sport is celebrating other people's success, and especially when things might not be going quite your way. And we've got a lot of really good people in our locker room, and you can see like yesterday doesn't quite play as much as what he probably wanted to hope to, but comes out and celebrates and enjoys Joe's game. And a guy like Brad Newley enjoying seeing what KB is doing at his position. Like that's the biggest challenge I think in professional sport, and we've got a really good group, and it's only going to put us in a great spot as the year goes on.
You talk about celebrating each other. A moment that has stuck in my mind since the game has been, down the stretch, the game is probably in hand, but we move the ball, KB gets it under the basket, pump fake, and one finish, and everyone is just going nuts. Everyone on the court is just celebrating around him. What's that like as a coach to look at this group and see the camaraderie and see that these guys, as you said, are just getting around each other constantly and fueling each other to put in good performances? Yeah,
it's awesome. I think, like I said, I truly believe it's one of the more difficult things to do because it's, while it's a team sport, you have your individual goals and dreams and aspirations, and some nights it's just not your night, or when you're on a talented team like we have, you might have a great week and feel really good, and at the end of the day, there's only 200 minutes to go around, right? There's 320 minutes that don't get played, and how good can we be in that space, and how much can we embrace each other's success, and especially when it's your guy in your position, and you look down the bench and you just see Tripp and Malith and Newells and A is out of the game, and maybe it's Shill sitting there when Flinny's out there doing great things, and it's awesome to see, and it sets your culture up and your environment up for a really good feeling, regardless of the results. Much easier to do when you're winning and games are closing out, but yeah, it's an awesome feeling. It's a great group to be around right now.
Yeah, I want to talk about Flynn because this was probably his best game in United colours, best game as a pro.
Yeah.
You've talked, Balls, constantly about the way his dad played, and I guess that's, in a sense, trickling down to him. I don't think his dad was ever quite the off-the-dribble three-point shooter that Flynn has turned into. But what have you seen from Flynn? Because it seems like since day one, him coming into this building, he's just wanted to compete and contribute to this team.
Yeah, he's he's young, he's a rookie, and I think we challenged him early. Like he works too hard not to be good. Like I haven't seen many 22, 23-year-old kids. I haven't been around forever, but many that come in with that kind of self-drive to get better. Like you can do everything as a staff and a club to put all the resources out there, but at the end of the day, you got to kind of participate in your own development. And he drives that every day. He comes in with a plan, whether it's the weight room, off the floor, on the court. And I think he's got great role models in Chile and Dell and IC and CG that he looks up to. And he's just on this great trajectory right now, and he's going to keep pushing that way. It's a long path for him, but you saw great growth. Like we sat there yesterday, played South East, and we played them in a preseason game, and he had some struggles, and there were some things he had to adjust. And when you watch yesterday's game, those things he's just dug in on video and his vitamins and his play development stuff, and had some really good output yesterday. So, stoked for Flynn, but long way to go still.
Vitamins? Did you say vitamin?
Yeah.
Is that a term or is that literal?
It's a term. Yeah. It's just what we.
He's also taking vitamins.
No, it's not an Essendon saga again. It's our term we use just for your daily needs. So you come in every morning, have an indie with a coach, and he's really dug in. And most of the time with Flinny, you're having to rein him back because he's just so amped up to get a one-on-one, and he wants to work out really hard, which is awesome. But yeah, it's whatever you need, and he's really dug in on that side, both defensively and offensively. And you saw some of the fruits for his actions yesterday.
Yeah, nice.
Balls, when you see Flynn, do you see much of Pero? Obviously, different body types, different players, but as a guy that you went up against and saw very closely, do you see much Pero in Flynn?
Well, I mean, he's strong. He's a well-built guy. I mean, he's probably half the size as dad. I don't know, height-wise, Pero was probably a 6'5", maybe 6'6". But just strength, like I think he's probably just as he's a strong kid. He's a strong guard. He's a strong. Jake would know more about that. So, I don't know. It's hard to. It's probably I would say in work ethic.
Yep.
They're both very similar in how important basketball is to them and kind of no nonsense approach. But one player was a 6'6" guy on the post, great passer, could just throw people around. But both Pero was a very very smart basketball player.
No.
So is his son also a very smart basketball player?
Flinny.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got and one thing he's probably taken from his dad a little bit, I feel like, is his rebounding. Like, I think he had 8 boards yesterday.
8 boards,
against South East, and a couple that whistles went. He probably could have finished with 10 to 12, but and Pero, the big hands, the strong hands, like just a willingness to mix it up for a kid's pretty impressive. I'm sure it comes from dad and his brothers in the backyard and that kind of stuff.
Another guy that was crashing the boards and that you mentioned briefly, Campbell Blogg, a DP who hasn't really gotten many opportunities this year. He plays 10 minutes, but he comes in and, as a guy that's played a lot of point guard, 2 guard in the NBL 1 and, helps run the offense here in sort of the third team, the gold team at practice. Yeah. What's it like to see him come in and maybe do something that isn't expected, but he's just come in and he says, okay, I'm just going to, if it's there, I'm going to crash the boards and I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this team get a dub.
Yeah, Bloggy has been awesome. Like from preseason, as you mentioned, NBL 1 with Sandy, and had some good games for us down in Tassie in the preseason, and he's been really close. And again, you're just playing behind guys like CG and IC and Tanner. And it's like, when are you going to get that chance? And he got it yesterday. We had a massive emphasis all week, Southeast foul line and keep them off the glass. I think they shot 32 foul shots and maybe had 16-0 or 10-0 boards or something like that. But we kept them to 3 by three-quarter time, which was huge. And when you go back and watch it, you see, Bloggy, it's a challenge when you got Matty Kenyon and Craig Moller and Tarangi like flying in there on the glass. And he did a great job just checking his guy, owning his space, and a lot of that. We have a big emphasis here on our weights program, and these 1st to 4-year guys coming in, and talked about Flynn before, his strength. KB's strong, Bloggy's strong. Like, these guys spent a lot of time in the weight room with Jay and Steve and all the other guys, and that paid off yesterday because they're 6'8", 6'7" dudes flying in there trying to get it, and often rebounding comes down to just owning your space and going to get that ball. And yeah, Bloggy was fantastic. He was solid, and an easy way for a young guy to get themselves into the game is go and get your hands on the ball. Like, feel good about it. Don't just run around and kind of stand in the corner and wait for it to come to you. Like, go and get it, feel good. And now next time you get it, you get a shot or you get an ability to handle it, and you've touched the ball. You feel like you're a part of the game, and you feel pretty good.
I gave my kids the exact same advice over the weekend. Yep. So I feel good about myself. We got an actual coach here. He said the exact, I'm going to make them listen to this and say, oh, I wasn't wrong. Like, go make your own opportunities. Especially 100%. No one starts out their career in under 10s, 12s, 14s as just a jump shooter. Don't be a jump shooter waiting for the ball. Go get the ball, get a rebound, get your hands on the ball, and make something happen. And then everything else will kind of come with that. So a couple of coaches here talking.
Yeah, I'm also a coach. I coached my year 8s and year 9s on the weekend. Picked up 2 L's, but let's not talk about that.
No. And big time rebounder you were as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, there you
Massive
go.
rebounder.
Yeah.
As long as the ball comes out to the 3-point line, he'll rebound.
Coming from you, mate. Let's
Please,
not
you can check the stats.
glass
I was a
houses.
rebounder.
Let's not throw
I was
stones.
a rebounder.
Look, we've spent a lot of time talking about the contributors, but we'd be
Yeah.
remiss not to talk about the performances of Chris and Joe. What is it? 55 points? No, 53 points combined.
Quick math.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
Pretty slow maths. But 53 points combined, back-breaking shots, you know, really carried this team and, you know, brought that energy and lifted us to a win when we really need it. What's it like to see those guys in an undermanned lineup step up when they needed to?
Yeah, well, I'm just enjoying not having to scout against them, to be honest. Like those moments where you just take yourself back, you're like, such a handful, both of them. And they're world-class players, and that's what world-class players do. The cream rises to the top when you need it. And I thought he's just been building now since he's been coming back and really building into great form. And CG, I think, has been solid all year, pretty much since coming back from the World Cup. And it's just making sure we put them in the right spots and they've got the right space around them. I thought Joe, we had a couple of possessions where it was just like, it's not the best environment for him to attack. And then when we got that balance right, I didn't think South East had an answer for him yesterday. And he was super aggressive, which is always a good sign of the mode that Joe's in. And CG just, I thought he had a couple of clean looks at the rim early. And when he's got eyes on the rim, he's pretty lethal. I think he got up 15 threes yesterday, and Deno's made pretty public about anytime he gets more than 10 up, we're feeling pretty good. So, we're stoked to have him. And you can see that when we hopefully get everyone back, touch wood, you know, those guys are massive pieces of what we do on the offensive end.
You talk about Joe making the most of his opportunities and working to attack those opportunities when we're there. There was a lot of talk coming into this game that it's Joe versus Alan Williams. These are two of the best centers in the league, if not the two best centers. What's it like when you see a player stand up in that moment and take those opportunities and really, you know, probably put a stamp on, I'm the best center in this league. He was nearly an MVP last time he was here. It's something he wants to win a championship, but I'm sure he has his eyes on that MVP trophy again. Yeah. What's it like to see a guy stand up and say, I'm going to take this matchup and I'm going to do whatever I can to dominate? Yeah,
I think Joe, one of the reasons he's been so successful is just he's one of the best competitors I've ever been around, and he'll do whatever it takes to win. And he knows, you know, I think he's career high in assists this year too. In those earlier games, like we're down in Tassie, I think we started the game poorly and he came in and just changed the game. And his aggression is usually what sets the tone for us. And he's a handful. Like I said before, I'm just enjoying not scouting against him because you don't have many answers apart from you really got to load up and try and take away those ISO situations for him. And he's shown this year his willingness to get off it and get IC open and get CG open, and Shea plays off him great. And when we're rolling like that, we're really hard to stop. And I think you've seen our trajectory. Like we started the season poorly offensively. I think now we're third in the league, and a lot of that has to do with how we're working together and building chemistry in those kind of moments. So yeah, his aggression, he takes those matchups personally, I'm sure. And as we encourage all of our guys to do, you know, come in and win your matchup and play the right way and compete on the glass and find the open guy. And when we're humming like that, good things will happen. And yesterday it happened to be a bit more points for him, but he's been super influential on that side of the floor.
And you say hard to stop. I need to highlight this as a moment in the game. There's 3 minutes left. We're up by 2. It's really, you know, we're having a possession that's sort of going nowhere.
Yeah.
Shea drives. He kicks it out to Robbie Lowe. There's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Rob kicks it to CG. CG's basically standing at the halfway mark with a man on him.
Yeah.
And he just drops that. At that moment, I was sitting at the media bench. I physically stood up, turned around, put my hand on the wall behind me. I felt like I was going to faint. What's it like just to have a player that in those moments just steps up and does the seemingly impossible with such regularity?
Yeah, I don't have many. I mean, Balls has probably seen more of it with players and guys that are gifted like that. But
well, I heard that Balls got him his 50.
Yeah, 25 of it was mine. But no, I mean, I saw the shot. So we were out. Like there was a Peninsula tournament this weekend, so I didn't have a chance to watch the game live. But I was watching on my phone. We had a break, watching on my phone the last 2 minutes. And when he had that shot, it was the thing, the shot mechanics of it is he didn't even step into it. So he you know, he had the ball at his hip and it looked like, you know, go reset the play or do something, and just pulled it straight up and just shot it normally from that far out. That's one of the hardest things because it's not necessarily a strength thing. You know, it's like guys are the strongest guys aren't necessarily in golf, the guys that can hit it the farthest. It's your mechanics.
Yeah.
And he can shoot so far away with the same mechanics he can from 15 feet. And to be able to hit that shot, it was just man, that was I mean, they call it a dagger. It's probably more than that, I'm just going to take the shot. There's nothing you can do about it because you can't, you're going to get up on him that far out. I mean, it's ridiculous to think I've got to guard this guy for the shot this far out in this situation in the game. And he did, and he hit that shot, and he's just like, it's a beautiful thing to see. It was one of the biggest. Can I say FU on here? FU shots.
You can say FU.
I've seen,
I think,
in a while. Just it was just amazing. But I think the shot mechanics is the thing that amazes me is how he can do it.
He is an elite worker, and most of the best shooters you're around, they know what they need to get done during the week, and at the same time, I'm a big believer in hoop gods, and I thought we played the right way yesterday. And he puts in the work, and that'll get rewarded most of the time. And you just can't have rest with CG. I go back to telling guys previous years, like, just don't stop guarding him. It's like, that's all good. I'm pretty sure yesterday Mike was saying get a hand, and he's at half court, and it's like
it wasn't like he was off him though. It was contested.
He was there.
Muller's there.
He almost got a finger on it, but
that self belief is everything for a shooter, and I think CG's got it.
After that moment, South East calls a timeout, and they go into their. I think they wanted to do like a little sing along in the audience, and so they cut the mics. They go to the sing along. I've never heard John Cain Arena that quiet. Everyone, all the South East fans were so flat. Yeah. And look, I love a rivalry. I was smiling. I was pretty up and about.
I'm sure you were. It was good. We had a long way to go, so it was like 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes left.
There's 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Or was it still 3 minutes?
Yeah, and we're only
felt
up.
Like it was.
We're only up 5.
You could have rested then after that. You could have relaxed. To me, watching it on my phone like this, I was like, game's over.
Chancey was just like, cue, rack.
Yeah. I was done.
What's for dinner?
Well, yeah, exactly right.
Well, another exciting moment is about to come up after this break. We're about to debut a brand new segment that everyone can get involved on. So we'll get back to that after this.
Want to stay up to date with everything happening at Melbourne United? Download the Melbourne United app today. Filled with videos, audio and articles about your favourite team. It's the one-stop shop for everything Melbourne United. Download the Melbourne United app via the App Store on iOS or the Google Play Store on Android.
And we're back on the Extra Pass podcast presented by Melbourne United. And it's time for a brand new segment. Lockie, hit him with the stinger. I hope Lockie puts in a stinger there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
This segment is called the MU IQ test. So what's going to happen is 5 questions about Melbourne United. Buzz in with your name. It's Chancey versus Balls.
Oh, no.
Play along at home. If you're listening, if you're watching, play along. And we're going to see who comes out on top. So I'll give you the question. Buzz in with your name.
And what was I used for this first up?
Look, this is the thing, Chancey.
Badly. I don't know a whole lot either.
Chancey, you spent some time with some unfavorable characters.
Okay.
Perth and Tassie. I don't, I have my own opinions about them, but it is what it is. And we've welcomed you into this club. Yep. I hope you feel very welcome here. And I just want to see if you've sort of reciprocated that by learning a bit about the history of United, learning a bit about the players and the culture that makes this club so great. Because I know Balls knows it like the back of his hand.
You'd be surprised at things I don't know.
This could be bad for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Question 1. Over the course of their time with United, who has made more 3-pointers? Joe Luala-Chul Jr. or Brad Newley?
Balls. Joe?
Correct.
Oh,
wow.
Yes, right.
Joe, 38. Newell's 32.
Oh, interesting.
That's very close.
Okay.
1-0 lead to Balls. All right. True or false? Dean Vickerman has more wins than every other current coach in the league combined.
Chancey. True.
It's false.
Combined.
Well, the second most experienced coach right now is 40, right? Like it'll surprise. It's got to be closer than you think.
I think it's Dean 191 wins. Every other coach combined 220.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Scotty Roth has got a few wins, and that's sort of helped push it over the top.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's still 1-0 Balls.
Sorry for backing Dano in there. That's just
he's your coach.
Yeah,
you have to do it.
Option to say true.
All right. Question 3. Closest to the pin. So you can both give an answer on this. Doesn't really matter who goes first.
Oh.
What
has been our average home attendance at John Cain Arena this year?
Balls.
Well, you both get a go.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to do it first.
There you go.
Our average?
Average.
A lot of sellouts. What's max capacity? Can we have that, or is that too much info?
I'll say that max capacity is around. I think max capacity is 10,175.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 9,500.
9,000. I'm going to go 9,501.
Well, we don't know the rules yet. Is it? If
Well,
you
that's
go
the-
visit prices right?
I said closest to the pin.
Well, that was
It is 9,750. So Chancey
Wow.
gets it.
Yeah.
Ties it up 1-1.
good job. Good.
2 questions left, and there is a tiebreaker.
Good
So we
strategy.
could go to overtime here.
All right.
9,750 is good.
That's a lot of people.
Very good.
That's great.
I think it's not it's 96%. 96% attendance.
96% is pretty
And
good.
I think we're getting close. We're almost a week out from the Sydney game. It's nearly sold out.
I know, because there's no place to sit. When the second half of the games when I can watch, there's no place to sit.
That game, I think it was the Perth game. Usher was at the foul line. That was
That was
one of the loudest.
very
that was-
loud.
I was
Yeah, it
down
was-
for that one. That was
tough to make foul shots. In that kind of environment.
both of them were off. The
Yep.
second they left his hand, it wasn't great.
Tough.
All right. Question 4. True or false? Shea Ili has made more 3-pointers than he's had steals in a United uniform.
Chancey. True.
It's false.
God damn. Really?
Shea, 113 threes, 117 steals.
Oh, see, the questions are they're too close. Like these are
They're supposed to be hard questions.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
about
but
the
that's
history.
they're close.
Of
Like
United.
they're so close that if you guessed either way, you're not that far off. So
Well, look,
we
it's
don't feel
only,
bad about ourselves.
it's only 1-1, so
Yeah.
we could be going to overtime, or one of you can take
Also,
home.
Balls doesn't get a point for that. I just
No,
cop-
Balls doesn't get
No.
a point.
Oh, so
No,
okay.
I don't want one. I don't want them that way.
All right, question 5. It could be decided here. Fans on the edge of their seat.
I'm sure.
All 150 of them, maybe 100. We'll see.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Spell Dellavedova.
Balls. I mean, I was like George, because I was just watching the Seinfeld episode the other day.
Stalling.
It's Costanza.
Stalling.
Costanza always tries to spell everybody's last name.
I'm waiting.
Dellavadova.
That's incorrect, right?
Incorrect.
Yeah.
It's VEDOVA.
He doesn't. Don't you have to try?
That was I asked the strategy on the last one. 'Cause I just sit here and watch
he doesn't
you
have
cop
to
it.
try.
No.
So
I don't get a point though.
No, so
Oh, okay. All
Look-
right. Okay, that's fine.
I definitely didn't think it was going to be 1-1 after 5 questions. But here we are. Good thing I came up with a tiebreaker. And someone has to get this because it's a who am I.
Okay.
So buzz in with your name. But if you buzz in and get it wrong,
The other guy.
you're out. And the other guy can just take all the hints.
Oh wow.
So there are, how many hints? 4 hints.
Okay.
And they get progressively easier. Who am I? I've scored over 1,300 points for Melbourne United. No guesses. Here we go. Prompt 2. Over my career with the club, I shot the ball at over 42% from 3.
This doesn't have to be a current player, right? It could be
No,
anyone.
any
It
player.
could be any
Okay,
player.
yeah.
But there's
I'm not-
Tigers.
Chancey. Barlow?
Congratulations,
Yes!
Jacob Chance. You are the winner of the inaugural MU IQ
Good.
test.
You can never take that away from me.
No,
I'll
he
be the
can't.
first
He's the
ever.
inaugural winner. Balls give him the trophy.
There you go.
Nothing.
There's your trophy.
appreciate
You had
We
one
should get
job.
Something.
It's like a Trojan Tools gift pack or something.
I
Yeah,
actually-
we get a sponsor.
Yeah, well, we need a sponsor. Talk
Yeah,
to the
coin.
boys outside.
Hamish and Andy got coins. I want us to be the next Hamish and Andy.
I actually thought because we talk about
You need-
CDs so much, I was going to go to Salvos and just pick up just a random $1 CD, and whoever wins gets a $1
get a
CD.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll go get you a $1 CD. I'll give it.
Something from our collection. I got plenty of CDs.
Do you want me to run out to the car? What do you want?
I don't
Straight
know.
out the
I don't know
blue.
if people hang around for that.
Well, so exciting. That was a rousing success, even though it was 1-1 going into overtime.
Yeah, the fans at home can play along.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of fans got 5 and are just like, these two are idiots.
No way.
Well, I mean, I never claimed to be very good at trivia, especially. Yeah, I would have never got the last one.
I mean, it did get progressively easier. The next
Yeah,
hint
true.
was
DB.
no, I think the next hint was I've won 5 NBL titles.
I probably.
Oh,
I told you, you'd be surprised at the stuff that goes right back.
Well, we got through that. I want to get a quick preview. Obviously, last match before the FIBA break against the Kings. It's 1v2.
Yeah.
Another big game. We're not sure how this lineup is going to look with the guys potentially trying to get through this week. What is your focus? What's the coach's focus heading into that matchup with the Kings?
I think we've done a really good job of really locking in on us. And like I said before, we had that quarterly review and there was some key things that come out of that we said, we got to get better at this in order to achieve our goals for the season. So we'll continue to lock in on that. We've got a long week again, which is something we're still, that's new for us. We've had 2 long weeks in a row now. So Sydney bring their own different kind of game style, high level talent, as you see with Adams and Hogue and Valentine and Hunter and all these guys. But they're certainly unique in how they play. They've been a challenge for some teams. And we'll start locking down on them as the week goes on. But yeah, you got to be on point with guarding your guy, and we're going to bucken down and make sure we're defensively on point with our one-on-one. And I think the teams that have guarded them really well have given them some trouble, and the teams that have let them drive and kick and shoot open threes have struggled, and plays into their hands a little bit. So a big test for us. We're excited. Whoever fronts up, we got full belief in our group. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting one for, John Cain should be packed out again. And obviously it's got its own little rivalry with the two big cities that I'm excited to be a part of. But big one for us before the break.
Absolutely. Well, if you haven't already got your ticket and you're listening, get your ticket now. Get in quick because those tickets are going very fast. Chancey, congratulations on your win. And thank you so much for coming in again. We really appreciate it.
Anytime, gents.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.